with this podcast, the point of it is to, step aside and talk about our sports once in a while. But of course, this is Bucket Squad, so of course we have to get back to basketball. We can't forget about it. So
Certainly.
next up, we were going to talk about your
Miami
team,
Heat.
the Miami Heat. Hassan Whiteside. He was suspended for one game
Ridiculous.
for elbowing Boban, the Giant
Total,
of the San Antonio Spurs.
total, total nonsense. I mean, look, I don't know if you saw that elbow, Russell, but I think that was a bit of a exaggeration. I mean, and come on, look, that's total and utter nonsense. I don't think that should even be a system. I don't even think that should be a flagrant two. That should have been a flagrant one at max. I would even be okay if it was a common foul. I mean, I just think it's the NBA trying to really. I mean, I don't accuse the NBA of this as much as the NFL for sure, but just trying to look like they do have a strong hold of what's going on with their players. But I mean, if you look, you look at that little elbow. I mean, I was watching the game live and I see that, and I just got so frustrated because he did not deserve to get ejected for that. And the worst part was the big man. He was totally fine right after. He held his chin for like a few seconds and then nothing. That wasn't even. Just really frustrated me.
Yeah, I don't think it should have been a flagrant two.
And I think that really shifted the momentum of the game and made us lose. And regarding just Hassan Whiteside in general, he tends to be a bit immature. He tends to get angry, lose some control. But at the end of the day, he is a solid, hard to the ground basketball player. He will play tough basketball. He can grab boards. He can score. It's just really exceptional what he can do on the court. And it's just really disappointing to see such little things, take such big effect during a game when they shouldn't, even be able to.
One interesting trade that I saw floating around on the internet was, and I didn't even
Hmm.
know that this worked, but apparently the salaries actually match, is you get Dwight Howard, Jason Terry, and Marcus Thornton for Luol Deng,
Hmm.
Whiteside, and Beno Udrih.
No, no,
No?
don't do that. I don't want
You
Dwight.
don't
I
want
mean,
Dwight?
I mean, look, he's not a bad center. I mean, you can't say that he's a bad center, but I mean, I don't know if you see a pattern, but everywhere he goes, there's some issue. He had a whole issue with Stan Van Gundy, had to leave Orlando, had an issue in LA with Kobe, had to leave there. Now even in Houston, he's having issues. I mean, there's a pattern, and I don't really want that drama down in South Beach. I mean, look, Dwight's a good basketball player. You can't deny that, but no, I don't want. And look, Bino Udrik's doing well. Luol Deng's doing well. Don't mess with that. I mean, maybe I could see a potential trade if you take out Dwight and take out Hassan, and maybe just the other players. You said Bino Udrik and Luol Deng for Jason Terry and who?
Marcus Thornton.
Marcus Thornton. That's actually not too bad. I can. Bino Udrik's doing pretty. Like he's on a pretty good stretch right now.
His mid-range is always money whenever I
It's
see him
it's
shoot that. It's insane.
and he can facilitate pretty well. I mean,
Yes.
even if Goran Dragic's not on the court, he does a good job. Or D-Wave's not playing the point.
Rest
It
in peace,
works.
Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, and he's up in Memphis right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good point guard.
And
But, I mean,
speaking of Memphis, they might not be doing so hot now that Marcus Gasol went
no,
down. Either that or Zebo and Mike Conley got to pick up the load, but either way, they're not a contender. They're not in the same realm
n-
of what they were last season.
not. Or even, I mean, if they could magically have that 2012 team back with guys like, when Rudy Gay was there, then you had Zebo, you had Marcus Gasol in the center, you had, oh man, Mike Conley that a deep bench. That was a strong, scary team. If you had that in the Western Conference right now, they'd be a real threat.
What do you think they are going to do in terms of chasing another piece for the team like Kevin Durant?
In Miami.
Yes.
I see Kevin Durant down there, but I mean, I'm a huge D Wade fan and D Wade's been my favorite player for as long as I can remember, ever since he came out of Marquette. Man, he did some amazing things after the 2003 draft.
Hmm.
So I'd like to see him score more, but I mean, at the end of the day, we do need another scorer. It can't all be D Wade, and D Wade does have his on and off again nights, and so and CB doesn't always have his perfect nights either. So I mean, I really do think we need a scorer, and I think Luol Deng needs to, really. He's playing great defense right now, undeniably, but he's got to be playing also more, a bit more offense and that kind of stuff. But bringing for referring, no matter bringing KD down to South Beach, don't see it happening. I don't really want it happening just because I don't want a scorer that's going to totally dominate the court in the way, LeBron used to. That's certainly something KD would do if, isn't, there. So I certainly see that being a strong possibility. So in terms of, I just think we need a good scorer, whoever that is, someone who can, and I see guys like, we have D Wade scoring, we have Goran Dragic scoring, we have Green scoring, we have Udyk scoring, even Hassan Whiteside scoring. We have good scores. We just need someone else there who could really pick things up when there is a bit of a slump. That's what we're lacking, and that's why we're not winning as much as we could be.
Personally, I believe that they're gonna end up keeping Hassan. I mean, okay, it's gonna use their cap space, but they have no reason to not resign him.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that maybe we could get, a small, make ourselves a smaller lineup by taking out Whiteside, which is a possibility. But he's a young up and coming center who looks like he's going to be doing really well in the league. And right now he's only making like $900K a year. And if you think about that in NBA terms, that's pretty low. So yeah. I do think the Heat should keep him, and I do think they should let him mature. And D Wade's the perfect guy to mentor him doing that. D Wade's one of the most mature, people on the court that you will ever see. So I think we should certainly keep him, utilize his talent, let D Wade coach him up when it comes to maturity on court, and then I really think that he could be a true force to be reckoned.
Contender this year, yes or no?
That's a tough
question.
Tough
because you're a fan, or tough because
we're exactly because I'm a fan. But I mean, Finals contender. I wish I could say yes. It's just very different. I'm not going to say no. I'm just saying it'll be a very difficult feat in this tough Eastern Conference with obviously the Cavs, and you have Toronto, you have Boston now. Oh God.
Oh yeah, Celtics sneaky third seed all of a sudden.
Yeah. No, that's problematic. I mean, Boston's playing some good basketball right now. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think if guys like, Gerald Green has always been providing a great deal of spark. But if we can get consistently scoring per game, I wouldn't be hesitant to say it would be as difficult. I don't want to say no as a Heat fan, but East is very tight. Very tight. Very, very tight. I think our 8th seed right now is still above 500 as compared to the West's 8th seed who is below. So it speaks volumes as to how tight the Eastern Conference is right now, and I'm hoping that the Heat can get on a better stretch after the All-Star break.
Yeah, hopefully. And they've also been really hit badly by the injury bug.
Oh, big time.
Like, let me see, Tyler Johnson is going to be out for 6 weeks or something along the lines of that?
Yeah.
And he's been great for the team.
I think Bino Udrik's filled that spot pretty well, but yeah, Tyler Johnson has been good.
Yeah.
We're alive.
Next up, the slogan that I've been living by for years is that who needs Valentine's Day when it's All-Star Weekend? And tomorrow night, Saturday night, it's going to be a good one. We got the dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge, and some injury-related stuff, because Chris Bosh dropped out.
Yep, Chris Bosh is out.
Al Horford is going to replace him for the game, and then my boy up in Portland, CJ McCollum, is going to be replacing him for the three-point contest. And I am happy. But let's see. Skills challenge. Who do you think is going to win that one?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Draymond maybe. Draymond Green. I see it. I mean, heck, he can. I mean, it's a toughie. I'm leaning towards Draymond right now. I forgot about Isaiah Thomas.
Draymond.
I'm gonna go with Draymond for now. I just see it. I see Draymond winning it, and I see Steph winning the
Yeah.
3-point, and I see Zach LaVine defending his title again
Yeah.
this year
Well,
in the dunk
I will
contest.
say that Will Barton is nasty. He is a wild card underdog,
I'll give you that. Yeah,
as
that's
well
true.
as Aaron Gordon. But we'll see. Yeah, I
Uh,
think Levine
yeah.
is the favorite. He pulled out some really nasty dunks
Even
last
this
year.
year, I mean,
Even this
he's
year,
been dunking
yes.
pretty well
Yeah.
with that Minnesota team. So
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Draymond for his skills challenge too, and Steph for the 3-point contest. I mean, he just went off last year. He'll probably do the same thing again
oh
this
yeah,
year.
I mean, if you see the way if he can make these crazy shots with people in his face,
Mhm.
imagine when he's wide open. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta fix stuff.
Yep. And then slam dunk contest. I'll go with Levine for the sake of him being the defending champion. But
I
we'll
see it
see.
happening.
Yeah. The one thing that irritates me about the 3-point contest is that James Harden got invited to it again, and I he was terrible last year, and I was like, why did he get invited
He
again?
can shoot though. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't deny he's a good 3-point shooter
yeah.
and spot up too.
Well, he is actually shooting the lowest percentage from 3-point range
Oh,
out
okay,
of all
that
the
I didn't know.
contestants.
I mean, I still,
34%.
okay. As compared
Yeah.
to Steph, what is he like? 52%?
45.
45. I thought it was 52.
Oh,
But
really? No, it's like 45.
oh, okay.
No,
But
no one's shooting
either
52. It's like Reddick and Kawhi Leonard, they're up there at like 48, 49%, but no one's at 50.
I was so sure Steph was at 50. But either way, yeah, I gotta go with Steph. But I mean, I think James Harden's a good shooter, and I think he could possibly do well. But yeah, Steph's probably gonna win tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think so too. And All-Star game, which team's going to win, East or West?
Ooh, interesting. Ah, West has a good amount of people. I'm gonna go with West because I think about to light it up tomorrow night. I do think he's gonna light it up, or Sunday night, sorry, or Sunday afternoon. I think Steph's gonna light it up on the West, but it'll be tight. It'll be a tight one because I think LeBron's gonna shine on the East. I think he's gonna be doing really well with and then I mean if you look on it, we also have Russell Westbrook starting along with Kevin Durant, but I believe in both of the starting lineups there are no centers. Am I correct?
Uh, yes, that is correct, actually.
There are no centers.
Yeah,
That's
and it
pretty
actually
funny.
annoys me
But
because I hate how it's just three forwards now and then two guards. I still think that there should be a center, but I mean, if that's how they want to do it, that's how it's going to be.
yeah, and I think MVP wise, I believe MVP is by fan vote, correct?
Uh, I think so, yeah.
Then it's gonna be Kobe.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, big time. And it's his last year, arguably the second best basketball player of all time, arguably. I think the fans will certainly vote in Kobe. But if you look from a pure game, I see Steph. I
Yeah,
think he's gonna
I'm
light it
gonna
up.
go with Curry on this, but I would not be surprised if uh Kobe got it for like sympathy.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Or maybe he'll legitimately go off. Who knows?
I don't think he has the health to do that
Maybe
anymore.
he's been saving all the lift in his legs for this one game. Who
I,
knows?
I I recall. I think yesterday he had a press conference. He got up and he was his face cringed. I mean, he's really feeling it right now at his age. It's really disappointing too, but you can't blame the guy. He's such a accomplished, well accoladed player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see him winning it on Saturday, no matter how well he does. If it is fan vote, that is it. But if it's just based on performance, probably Steph.
Yep. And then shortly after that comes the favorite time of the year, well, for some teams, the trade deadline. And last year's was insane. I mean, I'm not gonna even
Oh yeah.
begin to talk about that. I don't even. At least I'd like to say that at least 20 players got traded that day,
Hmm. Right.
and yeah, that was just a really crazy day because I woke up that because we were on vacation and I woke up like 10 a.m. or something. I slept in, and then I'm looking at my phone. I see two trades that had happened. I saw Andre Miller for Ramon Sessions, and then there
Hmm.
was shortly afterwards Aaron Aflalo going to Portland. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a pretty quiet day. And then just on and on and on and on, and then the Twitter feed just blows up. And then I'm like, what is happening around here? And yeah, that was just a messy day trying to figure out like who was still on which team and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. I don't think the trade deadline's going to be as crazy this year as it was last year, but who knows? I mean, who would have thought it would all start from guys like Ramon Sessions and Andre
Yeah.
Miller, who I still think are great players, getting traded. Um, but I think one really possible trade that I see happening, and I told you this earlier, Russell, would be I'm not sure who for, but I see Blake Griffin being traded away.
Oh.
Maybe for a couple of draft. I mean, it's quite possible because look, DeAndre's been really, really doing well down low. I mean,
Clippers in general have been doing really well without Blake Griffin.
pretty well. And I I think it's quite possible for them to trade him away. I don't maybe they don't need the extra big man down there. And I especially because he just had this whole issue with the 4 game suspension hitting I think it was team coach who's also a good friend of
Team
his,
employee, yeah.
team employee who's also a good friend of his, and put him out 4 to 6 weeks after because he broke his hand, plus a 4 game suspension. I mean, and this whole
And 2K lowered his hands rating, which is kind of insulting if you think about it.
and I mean, I think the Clippers could certainly go by without him, and maybe a team that's longing for a solid center would ask for him. I'm just trying to think of who is really needing a good center right now.
A center or a
Power
power
forward,
forward?
center, big man. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure Blake could play at the center position.
Well, um, I'm not as hot anymore on the trade Blake Griffin bandwagon, but one move that I do seeing makes sense, and this would be an insane front court if this happened. Rudy Gay
Hmm.
and whatever filler you need to make salary work for Blake Griffin.
Interesting. Actually, yeah, Rudy Gay. Maybe because I could see if Blake Griffin were to go up to Sacramento, he would work pretty well with DeMarcus Cousins.
Because you see, my take on it is that back when the Clippers were hovering around the 500 mark and didn't even look like any resemblance of a championship contending team, I was thinking, shoot, they might even trade Chris Paul because he can just walk
Right.
away at no expense to the Clippers. And but now that's not the
Right.
case anymore. But now Sacramento is dropping farther and farther out
Right.
of
They
the
are.
playoff picture. And I'm thinking, okay, if they're not going to get rid of DeMarcus, who's the next most likely person to get traded by them? And I'm thinking Rudy Gay, especially with how Omri Caspi has been playing for them.
Certainly.
But that's kind of a maybe. I don't know how delusional those guys are up there running the Kings organization. But the one player that immediately comes to mind and the team that he is currently on would be
Hmm.
kind of delusional for keeping him on there considering what has happened already this season, and that would be Markieff Morris.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah,
a couple days ago, he got into a fight with one
right.
of his teammates on the bench during a game, and
I
you
saw
just
that.
don't do that.
And that was against the Warriors. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
And I mean, to begin with, just what you did during the off season, if that wasn't bad enough, this just takes the cake. I thought they were gonna keep him after they fired Jeff Hornacek, but
Right.
now I just don't know.
I mean, the Suns are kind of a bit of a
Dumpster fire.
yeah. They're not doing too well. And I think Markieff Morris is averaging like maybe 12 points a game, so it wouldn't be a huge loss per se.
in our last episode of Bucket Squad, we brought up the possibility of him going to the Raptors, and that makes sense. Another trade that came to my mind was him going to the Pistons, a straight-up trade,
Uh-huh.
Markieff for Ersan Ilyasova. Because if it can bring out the best of Markieff, like when they went on that Cinderella run 2 seasons ago, where they almost made the
Right.
playoffs and he was
Right.
playing the best ball of his career, that would really help Detroit to get him into the playoffs. Because they
Right.
would really benefit from having a good Markieff Morris.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. If he can be efficient, you can't deny that he'd be. So, and like you said earlier, in that season where I still should have made the playoffs, it was
Yeah,
quite
it
close.
was.
But yeah, if he could be just as efficient now than then, I don't see a point in trading him even if he had these issues. But I think what you said is very much quite possible.
All right. Yeah. So, that pretty much wraps up the first episode of Bucket Squad After Dark, and it's literally after dark. It's like 11:35 right now, even though we were supposed to record this earlier today and also yesterday, last night, but whatever. As long as we get it up, that's all that matters. Thank you for listening, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, because this is going up on YouTube and Soundcloud, so I'm saying both of these just for my sake and yours, so you can keep track. Have a good night.
All right, thanks, guys.